Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Amplify with Adam. We have Chau here from Golden State Manufacturing joining us today. Chau, thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you want to give us a little bit of an intro to yourself and tell us a little bit about Golden State Manufacturing and just kind of how you got into manufacturing.
Sure. My name is Charles. We're here from Golden State Manufacturing from California, Northern California. Well, I started in the trade about 12 years ago. Worked my way up, as an operator, become a setup guy and start programming. My background is in the mill, CNC mill. I can 3 axis. I started out 3 axis, then moved my way up to the horizontal, and then finally the 5th axis here. Right now, the Golden States we only have the capability of the 3 axis vertical because of the budget thing.
Yeah,
we couldn't afford a 5th axis yet. Mainly not because we don't have the capability, but because of inspections.
gotcha.
Yeah, with the 5th axis jobs usually come with inspections.
Mm-hmm.
And CMM is a little bit of a capital investment, so we haven't got there yet. But
Gotcha.
hopefully, with the help from Xometry workloads, later on we can afford a CMM and then 5th axis machines.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to be a part of the growth of your shop. So you got started 12 years ago. Was it like another local shop that you were working in and kind of cutting your teeth? And when did you break out and start Golden State?
Well, Golden State we started about 2 years ago. Just kind of want to get the time freedom, not much of the financial freedom. Of course, the financial come with it, but then the main reason we go out on our own because for the freedom of the time.
Gotcha.
I would like to control when we were to work, when the part ship, and not much of had to kind of relate to the big boss, the corporation boss.
Yeah. So what have you? I'm assuming you're 2 years into a small business. What are some lessons that you've learned? Kind of as you have founded this business and grown it. Obviously, once you survive that first year, it's you got some road ahead of you, and you've made it out of the kind of the danger time. What are some lessons that you've learned and kind of taken with you?
Well, the lesson, I guess you learn it every day. There's always something new that it come up with. There's some challenges that come up with every day, but I have to say the hardest part is getting the work in.
Mm-hmm.
Not much of just getting the PO, but that PO had to be. I would say have to be worth it to make it. There's a lot of jobs out there, but you just can't take on any jobs because some job you end up losing money as far as making money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lesson I learned. Is just I guess one of the important one is not all jobs are good jobs.
Yeah, and how have you seemed like you've gotten better with experience at evaluating jobs? Like, is there any tips and tricks that you use to kind of evaluate the jobs that make sense for your shop?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the job goes, the materials nowadays, one of the new thing that I have noticed is the material prices have been increased dramatically over the past 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't check the material, like current price of the material today, and start bidding on the price of the last 6 months, sometimes we end up costing the material cost almost as much as the job itself. So I would say have we checking material price currently.
Yeah, I mean that's been a big thing over the last 6 months is that the mills themselves have it's just like lumber and construction, right?
Yeah.
There's been a big run on material and lumber. So definitely staying up to date on those. And it sounds like just making sure that I'm sure that you have a gut feeling on what the materials will cost, but but double checking that gut pretty frequently to make sure you're up on the trend.
Yeah, I mean, that gut feeling might be true for the last month, but then this month, the price is totally different. You know, you're talking about a 30-40% increase in the material price. That will cut a lot from the profit itself.
Yeah.
And I would say that as soon as before you submit that quote for the job, make sure you check the material availability and the material price. So that way you can.
Is there anything else that you check before you submit a quote on a job?
I would say the print. You need to take a look at the print. For example, one of the job that I got is the print call out for an M5x7.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of us, we don't want to spend too much time on quoting, so we skim through the print. And M5x8, that which is the standard thread, but this is an M5x7, so it kind of special thread, and that just fly through my head. I didn't pay attention to that, and I have a hard time finding that tab and find the gauge for that tab. Mm-hmm. So I would say check the print. The part might be simple, but then again, the call out for the print might be a little bit tricky. And
focus on the details.
Yeah, but then again, let's say you have 20 quotes a day, and you're taking too much time on the print, reading every single note in there. That wouldn't, that would take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But then again, you got to check it.
Yeah, no, it's time well spent normally because it's the ones that you blow through and you don't get caught on that M7 check, right? You're like, that was fine, and then the one time you do, that's a lesson learned, So.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in our trade, but just kind of remind out there for the guys taking the job, make sure you read the prints. The model might be simple, but sometimes the print will a little tricky. It will get you.
So how it sounds like you were working at a larger shop before Golden State. How many hats are you wearing right now at Golden State Manufacturing? Are you checking the quotes, sending the POs, also running machines? Do you have a lot of hats that you're wearing?
Yeah, I do. Since we are a small shop, we only have 3 guys working. I handling most of the paperwork and the bidding for the job, the quotings, and I also program for the mills. I have a guy that work with me. He take care of the lathe, but on the machines. I don't actually go out on the machine to do the job, but I programmed it, and I also wear the QC hat.
Yeah,
I do the final inspections. I make sure the part is good before I ship it.
Awesome. Now, did you guys have like a QC process that you took with you, or is it something that you've kind of formulated within your shop on your own?
Well, I copies a lot of the process from the big shop that I work over the years, but then just a little bit from this shop, a little bit from that shop, and then I come up with my own solutions. I guess I took the goods out of those, and then throw away the bad. Yeah, we have our own little system of QC.
Awesome. Now, when you look at kind of what 2021 holds for Golden State Manufacturing, is there anything that you're noticing as far as the types of jobs that are flowing through, or things that you're interested in getting into, or capabilities you're interested in expanding to?
Yes, it's not just 2021, but it's been happening for the past few years already. Is the 5th axis job kind of type. I have noticed nowadays the engineer are designing more and more complicated parts that in the past would they would allow some type let's say welding, 2-3 pieces welded together. But now since we have the capability of 5 axis, and the engineer parts design more complicated, and would require a 5th axis just to manufacture those parts. Mm-hmm. A vertical, a regular, an old time vertical, or maybe even a horizontal wouldn't do the job nowadays. That's kind of the trending for the last, I'll say, 5 years already. I myself have experience in the 5 axis, both Trunnion type and the they call it dynamic work offset type.
Yep.
However, like I said in the beginning earlier, that 5th axis usually come with a full CMM inspection report.
Yep.
And the standard inspection wouldn't cut it nowadays. And then, but then again, the inspections with CMM would require additional capitals and skill sets. For a small shop like myself, I would love to grow into a fifth axis one day, but right now we lack the QC capability just to kind of take on those kind of work.
Yeah, and that's interesting that it's not the talent deficit, right, or any sort of experience of not being able to do the work, but it's it's the QC area, which is an important part of the part being made. But it's the ability to do fifth axis work is a valuable experience, right? And so trying to navigate growing into that with having the quality there as well is interesting. Now, do you think some of the engineers that are comfortable designing more complex parts, and like you said, you're a smaller shop, and you're also seeing some of that work. Do you think that engineers have a more comfort level working with small American manufacturers with more complex parts nowadays? And like you said, in kind of the last 5 years, trending that way?
I think so, because whether we like it or not, the fifth axis is gonna be the mainstream. Not if not now, gonna be in the next few years. It's gonna be the mainstream of manufacturing, because engineers are not gonna go backward designing a less complicated part just because we don't have the capability. There are shops out there that do have the capabilities. So either we have to kind of grow up or be left behind.
Yeah.
Engineers are not going to wait on us or go back to the dates. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so you've got what I think is a really interesting story of breaking out and starting your own shop, and I think a lot of people in the manufacturing area are interested in following that path, right? You see this story pretty consistently. You cut your teeth and then you're like, hey, I'd like to start my own thing. Is there any, you've already given some really good, interesting, nuggets of information, but is there any kind of like main lessons or things that you'd be prepared for as you're getting your shop started or thinking about starting one?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I see the trend of moving into the 5-axis capability parts. That's gonna be the main thing of the future manufacturing. But for the guys out there, I mean, they haven't want to get into the trade. I'll tell them it's a lot more work than you think. It's not just clock in and clock out like the regular job. Even after hour, your brain still gonna be working. That print gonna stuck in your head, that due date gonna stuck in your head. Be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Even when you go home, it's not over yet. The job's always follow you.
That's funny, man. I mean, that sounds like my job a little bit, and I'm not turning parts out. You know what I mean? I think that's when you find your passion. Definitely, it follows you around because it's not something like you said. It's not clock in, clock out. It's your passion. You're always working on it.
Yeah.
Now, what about? Oh, go ahead.
Especially on circumstances that you cannot control. Like material don't arrive or some of the tooling you order doesn't arrive. Those are the circumstances you can't control, and yet it affects your ability to produce a good parts on time.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are the things that come with the job, with the industry. But still, it doesn't it still bother me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel good because it impacts, like I said, if it's your passion, right? Like you're passionate about turning out good parts and good work. And so if something outside of your control impacts that, that's a big deal. Now, have you found any ways to kind of lessen the outside influences on your parts being made and your process?
Well, I would say personally, I just said you have to get personal with it. By personal, I mean you gotta get on it. You can't just wait. Let's say if the tool isn't right on time, or just call ahead a day ahead. Call them up, say, hey, you guys have my tool ready? It's gonna be shipped on time. I can just kind of check up on it. I mean, make it personal.
Yeah.
Just don't wait for it, because guy out there, they just clock in, clock out. Like I said, it's just a job for them. But here, the part or the shops is more than just a job. So we take it personal, and sometimes I found that if you make it personal and you give them a personal touch to it, like call them directly or keep track on it, and things goes a little smoother
Yeah.
with the human touch.
I love that, man. Especially as we, it's interesting that we're having this interview over Zoom, which is cool because, I'm in Kentucky, you're in California, we're able to do that, right?
Yeah.
But as things get more digital, I do think that the personal touch and making it personal becomes super, super important, because that human touch can be the thing that sways that guy or gal to take the extra 5 minutes to make sure that your tool gets there on time, right? Or your material, they check on the tracking for you and keep it up. So that's a really good lesson there. Now, you obviously have been successful working with Xometry. And so we've talked a little bit about manufacturing at large. Do you have any tips and tricks for folks that maybe thinking about getting on the partner network and taking Xometry jobs? Any cheat sheets for being successful there?
With Xometry, specifically, I would say, guys, Xometry is a good place to start, especially if you're a small shop. It have a constant workload that you can pick and choose from. But I have emphasis on the word pick and choose.
Yeah.
Because there's a thousand of jobs that Xometry provided, but not all jobs are right for the shops. So you got to know your capabilities and financials. Just pick and choose. Spend some time in the morning and go through all the jobs and screen out the job that you can do. Pass away the jobs that you cannot do because of the capability or because of the budget or whatever it is. But spend some time with the job itself. Don't let the job that you think is good, you want to do it, but then let's say if the due date is too tight, don't push for it. Just get the job that you are able to do it correctly. And because of the point system, so make sure that get the job right and make it right. So eventually you will build up reputation with Xometry to the point system, and then more job, a better job will come.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all boils down to you've gotten some really good lessons, but the two that I keep hearing you come back to is pay attention to the details while taking time on those details, and then making it personal and owning that's the human touch, but also like having some pride around the work that you're outputting and making sure that the work that you're taking on represents your standards, right? Like your abilities and making sure that you're proud of everything that you're putting out. So make it personal and pay attention to the details with some time on it. Those are two really good lessons, not only for manufacturing, but also just for anybody doing anything, right? Those are things I can take into my day and make sure they're good. So.
Yeah, because let's say with Xometry, there's a lot of jobs come through the portals, and for myself too. In the beginning, I'm rushing to it because jobs to keep flowing in, and you'll be overwhelmed. Yeah. You don't want to lose any job. If you see a good job, you just want to take it. But pay attention to the lead time too. Let's say if your shop have the capability of 3 days, and then you take on the job that has lead time 3 days already, and you see another job with a 4-day lead time, but really you already have a job that 3-day lead time. You only have 1 day left for the 4th job. And next thing you forgot is keep taking job on, and you took too much.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, those are great lessons. And I think that's good for Xometry work, but also for, any sort of proposals coming or quotes coming into your shop, right? Like those are things that you want to pay attention to, no matter where the source of work is coming from.
Well, it's true on the level that any other quote you will have time through email, to answer them and stuff like that. But with Xometry, from my experience, it's just the portal is right in front of you.
Yeah.
And and sometimes you forgot that how many jobs you're taking in.
Kid in a candy shop, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
you want a little bit of everything. So you're trying in there. So, no, that's awesome. And man, this has been an amazing conversation. And I do want to make sure, is there anything else that you want to touch on in kind of the last couple minutes, or you've already passed along, like I said, some really good nuggets of information, and I've so enjoyed speaking with you. But want to give you the mic back and say anything that we weren't able to cover kind of at the start, and wrap us up a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's one thing that for the guys that haven't get into with Xometry yet and thinking about it, I know you guys have read up on the forums, on the internet a lot about Xometries. There's more negative comments. There's more negative than the positive comments about Xometry. However, guys, just join and try it out, feel for yourself rather than hearing story about it.
Mm-hmm.
Each shop had a little different experience. For myself, I like Xometry. It give me the freedom. So there, the positive and negatives also. But then again, like I said, just try it out. Don't read up on the forum and then deny yourself of a chance.
Yeah.
Try it out. See if you like it. If not, you got nothing to lose.
No, that's true, man. And I appreciate that. And I've so appreciated this conversation. Like I said, I think this is great advice for anyone looking to get into manufacturing, but also just any work, right? It's just taking pride in it, making it personal, paying attention to the details. That's stuff I can take through my week, my month, my year, and be better about the work I'm outputting. So Chau, I've really appreciated the time out of your busy day for taking it and speaking with us, and have so enjoyed this.
Thank you for having me.